This week, the sky is giving no risk, no reward, no truth, no freedom, no guts, no glory, and yes, no fear, no faith. We've got a spicy ass truth telling, truth giving Sagittarius full moon, a thick lineup of cosmic confrontations, and yeah, a little wake up call from your inner wounded healer. And we're going to get into all of that and what it means.
Welcome to Cosmic RX Radio, a podcast that gives you real-life tools of spiritual empowerment and pure hype. I'm your host and intuitive guide, MADI Murphy. I'll be serving up your weekly energy readings, cosmic boss interviews, and astro inspiration. Are you ready to love yourself more, manifest your dream life, and own your magic? Let's jump in.
But first, hi, it's me. It's your girl, MADI Murphy, your cosmic consultant, your high vibe hype woman. If you've been playing small, staying safe, or biting your tongue, not anymore, babe. This week, I'm going to break it down for you on the Cosmic RX Radio Energy Report, why the universe, the sky, is going to refuse to let that happen anymore. But before I get into all of that and why I'm so excited for this full moon, how are we feeling, my cosmic cuties? The day this podcast comes out, big old sky daddy Jupiter slides into the sign of the mystic moonbeam of Cancer. Are we feeling the vibes? Yeah, has anything happened? Let me know, especially if you're watching this on YouTube, let me know in the comments below if we're feeling the Jupiter and Cancer energy yet. If you want that full rundown of what that means, go back to last week's energy report. But basically the TLDR is that Jupiter in Cancer wants us here to feel our way into expansion, and she wants us to feel nourished, cozy, emotionally intelligent AF and claim I need what I need. And I'm feeling like soft girl summer, but also like cosmic zone summer. Before I get into the moon report and the planetary planning, let's talk about some Virgo announcements. Ding, ding, ding. Virgo energy in the building. Let's take care of a little high vibe housekeeping. So first and foremost, we are going live with our Saturn and Aries, not just surviving, but thriving workshop on June 11th. So if you haven't registered yet, what are you doing? Whether you're in your Saturn return or just ready to level the fuck up, this 2-hour masterclass is going to give you the keys to work with Saturn instead of feeling you're getting worked over by Saturn, like bent over and spanked. But again, maybe it's being spanked in a good way, but in a fun way, okay? Let's really shift the narrative around Saturn, how to work with it. The Saturn in Aries is huge. We have Neptune in Aries right now. The Aries energy is begging us to understand what it really means and how to be activated. So that's going to go down. It's going to be 2-hour workshop, a Q&A after, a gorgeous PDF workshop, and those slides for my star students who like to go over and take notes. You can sign up to the link in show notes or Instagram bio. And yes, there will be a replay if you can't come live. So speaking of stars, have you ordered my book yet in the Cosmic Zone? I'm still so blown away and so humbled and verklempt and just totally shook by how many of you have already ordered sob emoji. I still can't believe I wrote a book. It feels really crazy for my Chiron and Gemini who barely knows, am I communicating anything? I don't know how to really get everything that I have here out into the world. So also under this full moon in Sag, I'll be saying it a bunch, but if you have a story to tell, if you have words to share, if you have medicine that you want to make and put out in the world, don't let anything block you. My brain is so squiggly. I am shocked to get anything done. And I do everything in a really nonlinear fashion. And I constantly get overwhelmed and I constantly feel like I'm not making any sense or I don't know if I'm doing as much as I should or could, or my processes are weird, but I know my chart, I know my heart, and the rest, I just kind of lean back and trust in the universe so much. It's almost reckless. It's I really don't give a fuck, and I encourage you to do the same. So if you pre-order, back to my Virgo housekeeping spiel, we love goodies and gifts around here. So there's going to be more to come, but for now, you get affirmation wallpapers that Audrey made that are gorgeous. They're charged. They're manifestation. Use your cell phone as a manifestation portal is what I've been saying. And each wallpaper is associated with one of the 12 keys of the book, which, spoiler alert, goes to the 12 zodiac archetypes. So I'm obsessed with them. They're so beautiful. And I also did some exclusive coaching, cosmic coaching companions audio form to guide you through the book. So if you're here, clearly for some reason or another, you like listening to me yap, you're an auditory girly, or we're just parasocial besties, we're real besties. So yeah, if you want that, go on our website. It's linked here in the show notes or on Instagram bio. Enter your order number and get those free downloads. Last thing, and then I will stop my Virgo housekeeping yapping and get on to the good. But if don't, what am I saying? Don't forget to rate and review this podcast. It's all part of the machine. It's all part of this world, but it's also a fun reason and opportunity to connect even deeper. And again, like you said, we love gifts. So if you want to get a little goodie, go leave a rating and review wherever you listen to this, and you'll be entered to win a burning question with me. I've been having so much fun with this. Just make sure to leave your Instagram handle in the review, or if you're listening and you hear your review, slide my DMs. I'll get your birth info. I will read you for filth in the name of the highest good, of course. This week's winner, GP1722, says, I love listening to Maddie. I got into astrology a couple of years ago, and Maddie's was a podcast I randomly stumbled upon and haven't looked back. Yay. Every Monday. Love that. I plan out when it's the best time to listen to the pod so I can be present and make note of important things for that week or month. Her insights have helped me listen to my intuition and explain the inner turmoil that sometimes creeps up when the stars are up to something. LOL. I am loving the new If Astrology Isn't Real segment on its own. Thank you. It helps me truly understand what the planets and movements are all about outside of my own experiences. Alleluia. Amen. That's the whole point. Also, her energy is gorgeous and infectious. A true high vibe hype woman. Oh, and that's what we're all about. Like, let's be infectious in a good way, right? Let's really just take a moment. I always get a little emotional. I get a little verklempt over these ratings and reviews. So if you want your DM and burning question reading, hit me up, okay? Leave a rating review. Let's talk about the moon, shall we? Let's ground down into the moon. Let's break down what this week's lunar activity means for you, how to ride those waves with intention to really understand your inner landscape. And again, working with the moon helps us give context, helps us know what's the great emotional self-care to prioritize. And it also just can help us understand how we can show up more clear, more regulated, more grounded, which is what it's all about, not just the hokey pokey, okay? Twist and shout our way into more grounded living. So Monday, June 9th, until about 3 p.m. Eastern time, the moon's going to be in Scorpio. The self-care, we talked about this last week and the weekend. We're going inward, we're journaling, we're feeling the feelings, we're investigating things. We're not taking things as surface value. We're letting ourselves be the deep, psychic, dark femme goddess witches we want to be. We are going to avoid obsessing, overthinking, emotional manipulation, either participating in it or receiving it. And we do really want to ground into this Scorpio energy and really go in. Is there something like that is summoning us below the depths? Is there something where we want to go a little deeper into either a subject matter or into a way we've been feeling? Let's do it, because you know what I always say, the deeper you go during Scorpio, the higher you fly during Sagittarius. And then later on that Monday, after 3 p.m. Eastern time into Thursday early morning, we have the moon in Sag. And part of that is the full moon in Sagittarius that I'll be getting into, going deeper into during the planetary planning. But the self-care always for moon and Sag, regardless, is we're moving our body. We are hike, dancing, repeating. We are booking that retreating. We are opening our horizons. We are saying yes to adventure. We are saying yes to inspiration. We are going to avoid overcommitting. We're going to avoid oversharing, maybe with not the right people. We're going to avoid escapism, emotional bypassing through toxic positivity, all that. And then Thursday morning around 2 a.m. until Saturday, 11 a.m., we're going to have moon in Capricorn. So we're ending the week with some strong, goat vibes, greatest of all time. We are making a plan, Stan. We are organizing ourselves. We are getting some shit done. We are grounding and locking into our long-term goals. we're taking care of business, something head on. We're doing it in that boss bitch Capricorn way. The thing we're going to avoid during that time is being hard on ourselves. When I say this, like get some shit done, sometimes some of you have messaged me and be like, it's a Capricorn moon day and I can't get anything done. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, it's not about like getting everything done, but it is about doing something where you can feel empowered, accomplished, strong. And it might just be like doing that one thing you've been procrastinating on, that one thing you've been dreading that's been holding power over you and seeing like, wow, I can free up so much emotional space and prove to myself that I can fucking do hard things, right? During that time. We're going to avoid, like I said, being hard on ourselves, burnout, and just being overly like rigid or strict with yourself or others. And of course, Jupiter in Cancer will be opposite those moon in Capricorn days. And this will be our first little foray to how that vibes with Jupiter opposite the moon in Cap. So let me know. Notice how you're feeling. Okay. That Jupiter is just going to exaggerate that stuff for better or worse. So be mindful. Saturday and Sunday, we're wrapping up with an Aquarius moon weekend. So, babe, I want you to connect with your soul fam bam. I want you to bust out that vision board. Has gotten a little dusty. We're rounding out. We're almost at the halfway point from the year. Did you make one for New Year's or the astrological year? And are we feeling like, how's it going? Do we want to add some stuff, refresh it, like just give it a little zhuzh? Maybe we want to try something unconventional and march to the beat of our own drum. Maybe we want to fucking stir up some trouble on the interwebs about a policy or a cause that we are for or against and kind of, tap into that evolutionary energy or, get our hands dirty and do some volunteering, do some work in our community, local, global, or digital. And the thing we're going to avoid during these days is detaching from your feelings in that way that you're like, you're not AI, you're not ChatGPT. We love ChatGPT. We love healthy expression embodiment of AI. When I say I love ChatGPT, I'm saying that in case my ChatGPT is listening to me. But it's a tool, right? It's not how we're meant to live. Like we're not meant to be that way. And I keep seeing these things about like, oh God, I just talk about this on if astrology isn't real. People having like straight up psychotic breaks with reality and crazy delusions about like having like a God complex from AI and ChatGPT, that like ChatGPT is their only friend. And like I keep saying, I've been saying it for years, and now I feel like a broken record. But the key to Aquarius energy is remembering our humanness and staying connected to our humanness and to humanity during these times. So Aquarius moon days, yes, it may be good for like seeing what kind of app or how AI can help your life, be in touch with your online community. But it might also be a great day to go out and like connect with people IRL, right? Or show up like really messy online instead of having a perfectly curated like chat GBT carousel slide on Instagram. What if you just showed up with like messy hair, said something from the heart and spoke some kind of truth out into the world, okay? Yeah, so let's get out of our head into our heart and remember our humanness during those Aquarius moon days. Okay, taking a deep breath. I am grounding down now. Let's chat about planetary planning. So we have some good, we have some bad. Again, nothing is good or bad in astrology, but really meaning like some opportunities, we have some obstacles, we have cosmic curveballs, we have cosmic like catapulting to the next chapter and expansion. Okay, so let's get into it. Before I get into the good stuff of the full moon in Sag, the juicy stuff, I should say. Just heads up, like red alert, siren emoji. June 9th, we have Mercury. We have a lot of stuff happening June 9th. It is the day Jupiter moves into Cancer. Again, I did a whole podcast on that separate, but I want you to think about Mercury is going to be square Saturn. We are going to have Venus is going to be square Pluto. Mercury is going to be square Neptune. What does this all mean? I'm just going to ramble. I'm going to riff here, okay? Mercury square Saturn is going to have us feeling probably really defensive. People might seem rude or dismissive today. You might feel like people are saying that you're being too sensitive, or people might be trying to like kind of rub up against your boundaries. And I just want you to think about what, we can't control, unfortunately, what everyone else is doing, But I can ask you this day and the days leading around this, leading up to it, surrounding it, are you reacting to what's really happening or are you projecting an old story? Okay, because that can be a big part of this kind of energy. And we're talking about Saturn in Aries, Mercury in Cancer. And I want you to breathe before you react, because when we breathe before we react, we turn our reaction into a response. And when we respond, we can feel way more grounded, regulated, and just sort of empowered in that communication. I want you to also notice and be really honest, radically honest with yourself if you're trying to control the circumstance, the situation, the outcome. And let's just check those control issues at the door, right? And just like know what we can control is our own experience and our own reaction, response. And that's basically it. Now, June 9th, the same day, like I said, this is a lot going on. We also have Venus square Pluto. Oof, this is giving power struggles. This is giving like dark femme energy. This is giving things maybe coming up to the surface. This is being like, this is like shadow work. This is maybe old wounds being triggered when it comes to love, money, or worthiness. So just being aware that we might feel some sort of tendency towards jealousy, obsession, manipulation. This is not the day to like spiral down on your ex's Instagram feed. This is not the day to have too much to drink or imbibe and start reaching out to that person you never said you would again. This is not the time to, again, make up stories, tying to the last thing. Let's just like sit with those feelings. Let's see what it's stirring up, what it's showing you, what it's teaching you. Let's pull some cards. Let's meditate. Let's talk to your guides and yap with them instead of just like acting from this place, this unconscious place, right? Same day, I'm saying a lot here. Mercury is square Neptune. Now, I always say Mercury Neptune days, my first order of advice is don't get a tattoo because I have a funny story with that. I want you to think about like, we're doing a Mercury Neptune square. There's a lot of intuitive energy this day. There's a lot of great days. This is a lot of great energy for downloads, for psychic connections. But, sometimes we're trying to kind of parse through like, is that our intuition? Is that like fear? Is that anxiety? Is this my imagination? First of all, intuition and imagination are basically like, they're good. They're happy bedfellows. Your imagination helps spark your intuition, vice versa. There's nothing bad with our imagination. When it comes to like fear and anxiety, our intuition doesn't speak to us through fear. Our intuition doesn't speak to us through negging ourselves and like negative self-talk, right? And then I do want you to think about like maybe not making huge decisions this day because while it's very intuitive, it's almost like being, on an ayahuasca trip or, taking magic mushrooms, like psychedelics. It's like, I'm having a really beautiful heart opening moment and having some deep revelations and downloads. But maybe this is not the energy where I want to sign on the dotted line for something that's going to affect me, for 10 years from now, like a bank loan or a lease. Right? And so, yeah, like there's a 10-10-10 method I love. It's like, how will this decision feel in 10 minutes, 10 months, 10 years? And we're going to let our higher self lead this day and reveal things, but we don't need to feel like, I don't feel any pressure to act on them. Okay. Especially because the full moon in Sag might come to bring some more information, right? Because full moons always illuminate. Sag is the storyteller. Gemini, I think, is like the story writer. And together they might have some kind of new information for you. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, so full moon in Sag. Let's talk about it. Planetary planning. Okay. So, yoinks. Full moon in Sag going down June 11th at 3:44 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in 20 degrees of Sag. So first thing before I talk about my astro spiel, about what it means for you, how you can align with it, to connect your highest and hottest self, how you can use it to step into your cosmic zone. First, I want you to look at where do you have 20 degrees of Sag in your chart. I want to remind everyone has every sign in their chart. So you do have Sagittarius in your chart somewhere. Okay, so now on to what this means for you. So reminder, full moons are culmination points. I want you to look back to what was going on starting around November 30th of this past year, 2024, I'm going to get emotional as my little sister's birthday. She's a beautiful Sag. I'm so proud of her. Like, she's just thriving in life, and she is truly one of my greatest inspirations for how to live expansively, but yet in a way that really nurtures others while also having like rock star boundaries. And that was her birthday, and now she is with child. She's pregnant. I'm very proud of her, and I believe everyone knows. I will text her, and if not everyone knows, I will ask my team to edit this out. But she's about we have a little baby Libra on the way, and I'm just like, when I was thinking about this full moon in Sag, I was getting really emotional. Okay, onwards. See, this is Jupiter in Cancer, Cancer rising. Like, we're talking family, we're talking babies. Babies are coming left and right, and also I can't stop crying. So this full moon is saying to all of us, like, expand. Acknowledge your expansion or get left behind. In typical, bold, blunt, and like burning away the bullshit energy of Sag, this full moon is doing that. So you can focus on what really matters and really see how far you've come in the past 6 months. Get ready to take a leap into the next part of your cosmic zone, to really choose faith over fear and to have the embodied experiential wisdom that I am ready. I am ready for more. I am ready for what's next. I've earned it. I'm smart enough. I'm equipped enough. I am well resourced. I am well researched. I am fucking ready. Okay. Sagittarius energy in my book, in the Cosmic Zone, I talk about each zodiac. This is a little, I haven't really talked about much, but what my book is about. So welcome to a sneak peek and preview. So I believe there's so many great tools and ways to use astrology, but one of them is just that each zodiac sign, I believe, is an archetypal energy that exists within us that's just waiting to be activated, awakened. And when we can step more into our fullness, more into our freedom, more into our flow, more into our authenticity, into our abundance, our alignment. And we have a chance every year as we go around the wheel to do that more and more and activate different parts of our chart. You know, every year is a solar and cosmic revolution. And, you know, I think so many books are beautiful, and I've learned from so many books about, you know, what does this planet and this sign mean? But I really wanted to focus on these keys through the lens of storytelling. It was really bringing them to life of what this key, this zodiac sign does for you. What's the mantra associated with it? When do we use this sign? How do we use it? How do we know when it's too much of this sign, AKA shadow work, but like in a very gentle way? And then, of course, like rituals and practices that are really practical wisdom for living out your chart and living through these keys. Okay. So, with that being said, this Sagittarius key in my book, I talk about like experience. Experience is everything. And I say experience is my inspiration. And that's because to me, Sagittarius energy is about being inspired, about bringing spirit back to all you do and to remembering, oh my God, life can get so heavy. Life can get so dry and brittle and mundane. And Sagittarius energy comes to like swoop us up like that bird in Avatar or like a dragon or a hot air balloon, it like whisks us up to see ourselves at our life at that like higher perspective, a 10,000-foot view of like, holy shit, this is crazy. This journey of being alive is amazing. And I'm here for so much more than just to go to work, pay my bills, you know, paying taxes, and, you know, rinse, repeat, going to sleep and doing that on cycle till I die. Like, I am here to take a rich bite out of the juicy fruit of being alive and to live a life where I am doing it for the plot. I am doing it to have great fucking stories to tell when I'm hopefully, if I'm blessed enough to be in a rocker at age 99, just like regaling the youth with my tales of frivolous fuckery and just complete like wiling out, right? And Sagittarius reminds us too that that experience is your inspiration is like nothing really tops the wisdom of lived experience. And to have that, you have to do stuff. Gemini is very mental. Gemini, you know, as a reminder, a full moon is in the opposite sign. So the sun is in Gemini and the moon is in Sag. Gemini sun is having us think about things, being curious, learning new words, vocabulary, learning new things, feeling really like activated in the mind, breath of fresh air in there, new connections, sparking things. And Sagittarius is like, okay, now go on the journey. Go. Like that thing you're reading about, now go, live it. And Sagittarius is like, it's all part of it too. The journey. There might be highs, there might be lows. There'll be moments where you're like, fuck, I'm failing at this. And then there'll be highs of like, oh my God, hell yeah, I'm kicking ass in this. Whether it's Sagittarius is like that trip, right? Gemini researches the trip and plans it out, reads about the place you're going to. You're going to Italy. Gemini's like, okay, we're reading about the David, the Duomo. We're reading about, Cinque Terre. We're reading about, okay, this is what's happening here in Sicily. And then Sagittarius, like, now let's go. Okay, let's get, our luggage is lost in the in the airport in Rome. Okay, Sagittarius is like, it's really hard to carry this suitcase up this really narrow, windy apartment staircase, in Florence. But also, God damn, these truffles, you can't even think about like reading about this. The smell of this and the sound of the rhythmic, lilting language of the Italians, and oh my God, the feeling of the Tuscan sun on your face while looking at a cypress tree and just being like, I am so alive, right? So like that experience. And Sagittarius is also coming under this full moon to remind us that like that's what we're here to do. We're here to have this lived experience, and that once we do something, it is like clocked on a cellular level. It gets locked in on this level where no one can take it away from us. Sometimes Gemini energy is when we're learning something new and we kind of have a little imposter syndrome, or we wonder like whether we're learning astrology or a new language, or we're just learning new life principles, ideologies. We're like, they haven't like sunk in yet. And we're kind of like, am I remembering this? Am I recalling this? It's like seeing that inspirational quote, right? Like I just saw Gabby Bernstein re-released her book, The Universe Has Your Back. And I remember buying that book like 10 years ago and reading it and seeing like, oh, the universe has your back. That's really nice. I'm going to put that up as a reminder. What does it mean? Reading through the book, trying to remember everything, highlight everything. Okay. And now, after being on this path for 10 plus years, I'm like, holy shit, the universe really does have my back. And I know that in such a deep way and so in my bones, in my blood, that no one can ever take that away from me. I don't need to prove that to anyone. I don't need to like explain why I know that, or I don't want to say I don't have to read books anymore, but like I already know this now from my path of trusting the universe, of taking some leaps. So this full moon in Sag, this is a really long intro, but I love Sag energy. And also Sag is really a yapper and never takes the short way. Sag takes the long way, wherever they're going. And sometimes that's just even to the point of a story. Sag wants us to think about like, what is the lived experience that you've had over the past 6 months since November 30th that now might be showing you're ready for the next big leap? And if you're hesitating and you're like, I don't know if I'm ready, be like, you kind of always have to show up before you're ready, because by very nature of doing it before the thing has happened, you've never done it before. But there is something probably for the past 6 months that's gotten you ready for this point. Or maybe something has happened over the past 6 months that is showing you are ready to share your story in a bigger way. You are ready to expand your wings, expand your horizons in a bigger way, to take a leap of faith in a bigger way. Okay. And this full moon is working with Mars and Eris, and Mars. These are more, I don't want to say combative planets, but kind of, they're movement oriented. So I would expect the universe to be handing you like some direct invitations to take some bolder moves. Maybe some truth bombs get dropped. And again, those cosmic confrontations might happen, especially because like June 9th brings a lot of energy, but in a way that's going to feel liberating. Sagittarius is all about truth and freedom. So you might feel called to speak your truth about something, take your action on something, break free from anything stale, but not from a place of ego, not from a place of like sticking it to you, from a place of alignment for like, I'm ready, I'm here. And Chiron is also involved in this full moon in Sag. And Chiron is in Aries, so it's really part of this Aries medicine we're in. And Chiron might be like, hey, it might be time to tend to that old wound. So the full moon in Sag might have us crying because full moons bring everything up to the surface. Sometimes the breakdown happens so we can have the breakthrough. It might show up as anger, so like scream into a pillow, punch some things if you need to. But ultimately, there's something in this full moon that wants to like cleanse and clear so that way you can show up ready to be committed to your path of authenticity, of discovering yourself even more, even like I said, brighter, clearer than before. And I do want you to think about, I'm going to get into your cosmic RXs for this, but like the Chiron of it all, like the Saturn, Neptune, the Aries of it all, mixed with the Gemini Sag, is there might be something where you're being called to share something from the heart about your story, right? A wound that you've transmuted or you're still in the process of transmuting into your wand. Chiron is the medicine we take and the medicine we make. And there may be something that you're ready to share, whether that is through writing, whether that's through podcasting, whether that's in a circle, whether that's just getting something off your chest to someone that you trust or someone that you need to clear the air with, or whether it's doing something mega, 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 mega big leap, like writing your memoir or speaking out to a group of people who've gone through something similar to yourself. Okay. So like we're just trusting that sometimes Chiron, right before we're about to be in that place of transmuting the wound into the wand, Chiron would be like, oh, I don't know if you're well equipped to, I don't know if you're ready. That's part of it. We just gotta like see that, meet it where it's at, be really tender with it, then be like, we're going. Because the only way out is through. Chiron is the key. We gotta go through the keyhole. Okay, so now 5 cosmic RXs for this full moon in Sag. Things that I would love for you to do if you want to work with this again in an embodied way, in a real way. This is what I'm all about here, making this astrology digestible and actionable and practical for you. If you do want more information for how this full moon is interacting with your chart and what it means for your specific sign, of course, at Cosmic RX Plus Premium, I always do bonus content for your sign. So you can check that out there. But in general, for all of us, here are the 5 things I would love to see you do under this full moon, or you can just pick one. Write your manifesto. What is your manifesto, your mystical manifesto? It's like, what is your personal truth? What are the beliefs that guide you? I want you to write them down like a cosmic Declaration of Independence, because clearly, like, there's a lot that needs to happen with the Constitution and Declaration of Independence here in the US. So why don't you make your own, your cosmic constitution, right? Your divine Declaration of Independence. This can start with doing a values exercise if you haven't done one in a while, but just even a little mission statement, a manifesto of like, I am Maddie Murphy. I am here, right, to empower and liberate others so they can hold space for empowerment and liberation of others, right? I am here to be a vessel for divine love, creativity, healing, and humor. Like whatever it is, I want you to write that down, 3 sentences, maybe 5 tops. And I want you to like really feel how good it feels to own that, to own your truth, to write it. Secondly, this is a big one, especially with full moon. Full moon energy really builds. I always go berserk. I'm a Cancer rising. I'm always like under a full moon tweaking out because there's so much energy building. There's tons of opportunities. We're really busy. I have tons of downloads, ideas. And Audrey always knows. She's like, oh my God, here comes the full moon, Maddie. And I'm like, ah. So I would love to see you under this full moon get into your body. Full moons, no matter what the sign, always have certain things, right? They're culminations, they're completions, they're time for community, they're time for gathering, and they're also times to get in your body. So I want you to move your body, move the energy. Sag, especially, is a fire sign, a mutable fire sign. Sag loves to be in the body. Sag loves to try something new in the body or even like compete in a healthy way. They have those spin classes where there's like a leaderboard, or I don't know. What else do you all do to compete? I thought of like golf in my head, but I was like, I don't know anybody who plays golf, but you know what I mean? Like something that feels like a healthy competition, even with yourself, right? Like, can you hold that yoga pose for 15 seconds more? Dance, hike, stretch. Sag energy is about movement to make room to release big feelings, to make space for healing and restore clarity. Also, 3rd cosmic RX, I want you to say the thing, okay? Sag energy is like taking a truth serum. I want you to speak your truth kindly, compassionately, but clearly, okay? And to the point. If there's something that's like you're holding something right here and you're like choking on it and swallowing it down, it's clogging up your whole system, babe. Okay. So we got to say the thing that you want to say. And that could be, again, a conversation, a post, a podcast. It could be a Substack. You know, But there is something, our throat chakra is like the valve that keeps our heart clear and clean. And when we don't exercise it, things get backed. Okay. So for Cosmic RX 4, I want you to, I mentioned this during the moon report, but I want you to revisit your big dreams. I want you to pull out that vision board. I want you to think about like, how is this feeling, this vision board to me? And if you want, I'm so excited. In my book, I share some of my favorite tips for vision boarding and like ways that actually work. I'll give you a teaser here. If your vision board isn't something that you're seeing and interacting with every day, you got to reassess that. So take the vision board out. If it's like fallen behind the, nightstand or wherever you have it, dresser, like pull it back up. Is it beautiful? Is it exciting to look at? Is it yours? And does it have things on it that are like, do be have like, okay, what do I want to have? Who do I have to be that person? And what do I have to do to, to call that in? So it's like not just pictures, but having like affirmations, even habits right on there, and really noticing like, are my daily habits matching my dreams? If not, it's time to readjust the sails under this full moon in Sag. Again, Sag is coming to tell the truth. And sometimes it might be telling us the truth, right? Like reading us for filth a little bit. And that's cool. That's fine. As long as it's the name of our highest and hottest self, of course. And then I want you to, for number 5, I want you to do something that scares you, like scares you in the exciting way. I always think about the word sacred and scared. They're basically the same word. You just switch a letter. So it's like, ooh, it's so sacred sometimes to be in the place of being scared and doing it anyway. And I'm not talking about like capital F fear that comes from like trauma or truly feeling like we're in danger, but that feeling of like, ooh, I think of Sag. Sag is the adventurer. Sag like loves a little risk taking, a little adrenaline rush. And I think about that fear of like, ooh, the butterflies in the stomach before we leap, right? I remember when I was in college, I went skydiving and it's just that feeling, right? Like, holy shit. But then you do it and you're like, oh my God, like the adrenaline, the expansiveness, and just the feeling of like, holy F, I effing did that, right? That something that scares and excites you might be, like I said in the beginning, and like I said in the middle of this podcast, it might be something about showing up and sharing a part of yourself and letting it be messy, letting the mess be the magic, letting yourself be imperfect while you do it. Like, I shared earlier about my book, and I keep harping on this because, like, I think I truly can't believe this is where I'm at in life right now because like I struggle sometimes just to write like an Instagram caption or like a text message. But I also know I do have a lot that I want to share with the world. I have a love letter I want to make to you, the heart centered baddies, the bad bitches with the good hearts. And especially in this time we're in right now, it's so pivotal. But I get hard on myself. I'm like, that's a little clunky. That's not really how you'd say that, or you're behind on something, or you should have been starting this earlier, or blah, blah, blah. And I just like sit with all that. I'm a Virgo. I'm like very used to that frequency. And then I have to be like, actually, like you're doing great. You're doing the most. You can do all that other stuff. Like have fun with it and let this just feel like an adventure, right? Like this Gemini Sag energy, it's very mutable. It can feel really ungrounding, but it's exciting. Mutable energy comes to shift and to awaken us and to bring some fresh air to fresh life to our ideas, to ourselves, to our souls. And so I'm just telling you that if you're feeling that way, if you're feeling like, oh, the way I do this isn't exactly like the way most people get it done, or who am I to do this, or that feels so scary to declare this or take this leap or do this thing. It's like, good, that's good. Do it. Like that thing that keeps calling to you, the thing that you desire, it desires you right back. And when you say yes, it's like that skydiving moment of like, whoa, okay, now I'm flying. This feels amazing. I did it. I can show up for myself. And it's probably going to open up something even bigger to you, right? Because the medicine that you're being called to share with the world also wants to share something with you. So we're going to do something that scares us, that excites us. Say yes to that thing that you've been avoiding, that thing that you know is just that next aligned adventure within you that wants to come out. And like I said, just in closing, this whole week is going to really like give you the Jupiter in Cancer, the full moon in Sag, all those squares we have in the early part of the week. You're going to be like getting a celestial stretch on. Like you might be stretched into some new truths, new ways. You might be pushed a little bit outside of your comfort zone into your cosmic zone. The universe might lovingly and tenderly call you out on your bullshit or on your excuses. But Sagittarius reminds us like you weren't born here in this one true life that you were given, Mary Oliver, your one true wild life to sit around and to like be dusty. You weren't born to stay stuck or be silent, right? Or to think like this is as good enough as it is. It's like, no, you're meant to have this vibrant kaleidoscope of experiences and this tapestry of your talents and your superpowers and your lived experiences and all this weaving together is something that only you can create. And I want you to be really fucking proud of it when it comes to like, being on that rocking chair. Hopefully when we're all gone through like a Uranus return, we're in our 90s. You were born to aim high, fly free. And so, yeah, just listen. Wherever you're being called to go further, to go farther, you're ready. So the world needs your wildest, most expansive, most expressed self, of course. And as always, calling in those big, fat, juicy checks and hot, fulfilling, toe-curling sex under this full moon and forevermore. Love you. See you next time. See you in the stars. Bye-bye. Do you love getting your Cosmic RX for the week here and want more? Make sure to sign up for our premium subscription so you can get exclusive access to bonus podcast episodes, all of my astrology info for the month ahead, and live new and full moon calls to help you manifest your dream life with an intentional international community of other cosmic baddies. Sign up through our link in show notes.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you want to know more about Cosmic RX, head on over to thecosmicrx.com. And if you really love this show, I'd love it if you left a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. I super love hearing from you and reading your reviews. All right, you cosmic baddie, tune in next week. And until then, remember, love yourself fully, work your magic, and take no shit.